So I know the video says Idaho Backcountry Discovery, but we started out east of Glacier National Park in St. Mary, and then we took the Going to the Sun road backwards from East Glacier to West Glacier. We started out our morning, we spent the night in St. Mary, and we stayed at this really cool little hotel, the Mountain Pine Motel. Something that was back from probably the 50s or the 60s. Uh, it was really cool.
Morning, welcome to Glacier.
Thank you.
I am looking for the cards, please.
Oh,
Thank you.
Oh. Like I said, we started on the east side of Glacier National Park. This is St. Mary's Lake. We're on the Going to the Sun road, going backwards, so the sun's behind us.
the bus that you see coming towards us, they're called the Red Jammers. They have been in the Glacier National Park probably since the beginning, pretty much. And they're named Red Jammers because of their color, which is after the mountain ashberry.
And there's a lodge, a little bit smaller than the Yellowstone Lodge.
There in the corner is the piano. It's a player piano. It's very much similar, if not exactly like the player piano I have here, or we have here at home, that was my mother's.
Yeah.
So I need to investigate that a little more. I forgot about that.
So day two, our plan was to start in Glacier again, but we were going to take a dirt gravel road that runs along the west side of Glacier up towards Pole Bridge and then farther north where a lot of the remote camping is. So this road requires a permit, and we were able to secure a permit, but we discovered when we got about 6 miles in there that the road is closed. Later research showed that that road had been closed for quite a few years due to some washouts and some culverts that had been taken out. Disappointing because the early morning drive looked really cool. I had high expectations for the road. So eventually we backtracked out of the park. There is another road that runs parallel to North Fork Road that will take you to Pole Bridge. So we made our way to Pole Bridge, which Pole Bridge is kind of an outpost for people that want to do backpacking and camping in Glacier National Park. It's just outside of the park, and it is an area where you can get camping supplies. They have a bakery. They have a little barbecue place there, get food. There's also cabins if you want to rent a very small little cabin over in that area. Now our plan was to go to Pole Bridge and then come back out and take the same road going north to the Canadian border. At the border, it's a closed border crossing. There's an old abandoned border crossing station for Canada, or on the Canadian side. There's nothing on the US side, but it's kind of a cool little place to just go. Unfortunately, we got within about 6 miles and there was a road closure sign there. Luckily for us, that's exactly where we needed to turn west and take the mountain pass across into Idaho. So that was very lucky that we were able to make that route, or else that would have been a considerable backtrack.
Wow.
So we made our way to Eureka, and from there it's just a short drive to the Canadian border. So we decided to just run over there and take our picture next to the sign. You'll notice I'm pointing at a sticker on this sign. That's a sticker that my friend Mike and I put there 2 years ago when we started the Continental Divide Trail from Canada to Mexico. Day 3 is where we actually start the Idaho Backcountry Discovery Route. We took the highway to the Canadian border. From there, at this point right here, is where the Idaho Backcountry Discovery Route starts. It meanders through a lot of farmland for quite a ways, where ultimately we're going to end up in the mountains that you see ahead of us. Popo? No. And this is where we finally got on the dirt road, and this was our first destination. Remember, was Roman Nose campground.
Yeah.
And there's 3 routes into Roman Nose. We took the northernmost route. And then there's 2 other routes. The southernmost route is the one that is the roughest.
Oh, there's a little deer running down the road. That was our first
Wildlife sighting. I guess you got a little boardwalk over there to take. So this is one of the 3 lakes at Roman Nose. This one has a little boardwalk down, and then there was 2 other boardwalks that took you higher up, and there were hiking trails up into the mountains, and that's where the higher lakes were. But I was really amazed how still this lake was. So it was like a mirror, and you could see to the bottom real easy, very clear. Oh, you remember when we were walking out and that couple stopped us? And they asked us,
another route.
Is there another route out of here? It turns out they took the most difficult route to come in. And didn't he say he was dragging the bottom of his truck numerous times?
He had a 4x4 too, and
He was still dragging. And then what did they say? They ran across a car that had a hole in the gas tank, and it had a sign in the window that
they were coming back to get it.
Yeah, they were going to come back and get the car. They were hiking to get help, and they were going to come back and get it. This is Lunch Mountain Fire Tower. Really a shame that it already started clouding up, because man, you could see, even with it cloudy like it was, you could see a long, long ways.
Yeah, that would be an awesome place to stay at night. It's very remote, no running water, no electricity.
Yeah, but can you imagine if on a clear night, that amount of stars you could see up there?
I would love to be there on a clear night. And thankfully, just up the road is the porta potty.
True.
Okay, you can stop now.
Wow.
Woo! 6,401 feet. And the Jeep. And the wind's probably going to be ridiculous.
It's not as cold as I thought it would be.
It said 64.
Day 4, we left Clark Fork. It was still raining. Unfortunately, right out of town, we ran into a road closure, so we had to reroute. Wasn't too far, took us back up into the mountains, but it continued to rain. So remember how green everything was and how lush these forests were?
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was because of the rain or because of the location on the other side of the mountain or between the mountains or something, but the vines, I remember just growing everywhere.
Yeah, it seemed really, really a dense forest.
It was very dense. Because we commented that you wouldn't be able to see wildlife because it was too thick for even the deer to move through.
Yeah. Yeah, that tree, man, that was a big tree for beavers to be chewing on. We've gone places before we've seen them take down a whole bunch of small trees, but I've never seen beavers chew on a tree that big.
Well, maybe they were just sharpening
Their teeth.
getting ready.
Yeah, I'd like to go back a year from now and see if they've made any progress. My guess is they've abandoned it already.
I don't know, it's pretty fresh.
Yeah, that's true.
They might be back.
Eventually, it just got too foggy where we couldn't hardly see anything. That's just when we kind of decided that we'd go ahead and look for an alternate route, maybe back down to the blacktop. And I think after this, isn't this where we ran into that guy? He was coming the other way in an old truck and he was lost out there.
Yeah.
And he
Couldn't believe he was out there without any maps.
He had no maps or nothing. And he was a long ways from the road. In fact, I think we offered him to follow us, but he said he was going to continue trying to find his way around. So anyway, we jumped off of this route and just hit the blacktop all the way into Wallace, and it rained on us pretty hard all the way into Wallace, as I recall.